Yes.
By having the named progress or plan, does that affect like how they choose like whether you get in or not?
No.
No. Okay.
It just, it's benign in your GPA, but it generates points for you that you'll have the class. So you get desired points or required points towards it. Do you remember the desired and the required? Yeah.
How does the application feel about withdrawals from classes?
You don't load any withdrawals. No withdrawals.
So that's only calculated in the GPA that you're submitting?
Yeah, because withdrawals don't affect your GPA. At least system-wide. Withdrawals do not affect your GPA. Right? Here? Yeah, okay. AP classes are, they don't affect your GPA, but they give you still the same credit for it. Yeah.
Do I have to recalculate my GPA with classes that I'm only looking at, like my chem, physics, math, engineering?
No.
Because I have a lot of previous, like a psychology or art class. Do I have to?
No, you don't have to do any calculation of your GPA for this section. And
Like in
there's
section
another section, right, that asks for your self-reported GPA. That is just your CSU transferable GPA that you should have a counselor calculate for you, or you can calculate it for you. But that they don't even take that into consideration. But you should have it accurate.
Okay, I mean, because I have my transcripts and it has my actual GPA, but that's including all the classes I've taken at Korea. So that's the one.
As long as they're CSU transferable, then that would be the GPA you put in. However, there may be things on there like if you had intermediate algebra or elementary algebra, things that are non-transferable that need to be pulled out of your CSU GPA. I don't know, does your transcript?
We have if they come in CS, we have a screen where we can pull off those and just tell them exactly what their CSU transferable GPA is.
Just have somebody in the transfer center and general counseling give you your CSU GPA.
So you don't put any specific points under that area?
Correct.
General grade?
Right, you don't list the courses, but you have to make sure that the courses are appropriate for that section. Right. And so, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, how does it work if you're applying as a mixed transcript?
Oh, if you're applying with a mixed transcript, first of all, you'll list all your colleges that you've attended, and then you need to have both transcripts or multiple transcripts in front of you. You need to plug it all in based on how the application. Those are I get those all the time. They're very complicated. I usually have a student print off everything. I go home and sit down and, yeah, they're complicated.
Where would linear algebra be? Or maybe if you wanted to include it in here? Because it says analytic geometry.
Linear algebra, unless it's in the major related section, which I'll show you in a minute, would plug into the analytical geometry, calculus, differential equations, engineering calculus.
Okay.
That's generally where it goes.
These have to be articulated courses.
Yeah.
Do you put in that you're coming from Cabrillo and it populates this with the courses here that articulate?
This does not, the application does not populate from assist.
So you have to know that you're putting in courses that are
Correct,
articulated.
and that's where our guide comes in. And basically what we do is we take this section, if you look at it carefully enough, you will see that it follows the pattern of a CSU GE pattern. And so if you sit down with a CSU GE pattern and you look at the general categories, you can match it up with what classes go into those areas. And as you fill this out, it can tell whether you're going to be GE certified or not based on how you're filling it out. Question over here?
You don't put in summer classes.
Correct. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, and it says that right at the top. You cannot rely on summer coursework prior. So the summer prior to transfer, you cannot rely on you can't put in here. You can't rely on those to be taken into consideration for admissions. Now, you can take summer classwork prior to transfer if you want to, and they'll transfer, but they can't be considered for admissions selection.
I took a course like a year ago that was 3 units, and now it's changed to 4 units. Should I put 4 or 3 under?
It's whatever's on your transcript.
That's not cool, but that will affect my GPA that goes through and.
It's whatever is on your transcript is what you got credit for. So.
Okay, so just as
you're not even putting the names of the classes on here. So it doesn't even matter whether it was 5A, whether it was math, whatever from Cal Poly.
Well, so it needs to follow the, right, exactly, it needs to fit into the category, and then in matching it up with your CSUG
And it's only
pattern.
4 of them, or 2 of them. Not 3 of them.
Do you have 3 of them?
Right there. Or do you can add as many as you want.
No, only four.
Up to 4 up to 4, your 4 highest grades, right, that fit in the category.
Can I just add that it's, the CSUGE pattern is the yellow one that you guys can get at the transfer center? So
Awesome.
that's the one to follow for
Yeah.
that, which is.
Perfect, thank you, yeah. So if you match this up, what we do is plug in our classes here on the guide, but we were short for time on this one. So just match these up with the CSUG pattern and you would follow that. Now,
Foreign language is not required.
foreign language is not a requirement, they only put it on here that it's part of the humanities area generally. Now in other majors, the liberal arts majors that we don't, like some foreign languages are required. So, and that's a good example. For instance, like within the STEM fields, like for mechanical engineering, chemistry, the chemistry series is required. Well, you're gonna plug it in under the chemistry line. It also would work under the physical science line, but you wanna plug it into the most specific category. That's what's gonna work for you the best. So you can't double plug. So it could work in physical science and it could work in chemistry, but you cannot double plug. So you want to plug it where it's going to get you the most points, and that is based on that selection
How will that
criteria.
be certified with another science?
They'll be able to recognize, right? Well, you don't need another science. They'll recognize that your chemistry would be double.
It's permanent,
Yeah, it does.
even though you can't double apply.
Right, exactly. Well, you can double plug.
But you can't put it into the GE area and when you prep.
For chemistry, if I have a student who's only taken our general chemistry, I will use that to certify area 1 and lab. Yeah, and the computer will recognize that if that's the only physical science that's plugged in, that would be used in their CSU G pattern, yeah.
Where can you apply for a minor? Would that be in your major focus?
You don't do that till you get there.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to do that in this process. The other thing is that making sure that what the goal of this is that you're reflecting what's on your transcript to the best of your ability within the framework of the application, okay? So you're trying to get as many of your classes as you can onto here. There are certain classes that won't fit in. Do you have like an engineering, like we have an intro to engineering class, which is a 1 unit. It doesn't ask about it anywhere on there, so it doesn't plug in. But it transfers, but it doesn't, it's not taken into consideration for the admissions process. Okay?
I just noticed when you do choose your major, it does ask you for a focus. So
Yeah.
what should you put there? Just
Whatever your focus is, yeah.
whatever
It
you
won't,
want to do.
yeah.
Okay.
That's just part of the CSU
Yeah.
application. That probably doesn't look at it just yet.
So is your focus calculated in any way?
Nope, not for the admissions process. Okay, now, so we get through these categories, okay? We're plugging in as much of our classes that we can, we plug into these categories. Keep in mind here, it asks for technical calculus and it asks for the other calculus. Technical calculus would be only for like your business majors. I'm assuming that's true for you guys too, that you have like a business calculus? Okay. So it would be only for your business, so don't put your calculus in there. We also have physics, which is trig-based and calc-based. I'm assuming most of you in here, are, if you're engineering, you're gonna have calc-based physics. Some of you, if you're biology majors, you may have the trig-based sequence, although we find that getting less and less campuses are needing that, or wanting that. Okay. So you go on down, this is page 1, it goes down to the statistics area, and then we go into page 2, and it continues with the fine arts. And you're plugging in. Now you may have areas that don't have anything. That's okay, don't panic. And then we come to the major related 1 and 2. This is where I want to show you something. So, major related 1 and 2 on the application. Go back for a second. Major related on the supplemental criteria. So, this is where the application is looking for this. That's where those are connecting, that's where those are cross interconnected. So, where did my application go? Somebody. Alt tab.
Yeah, I think you'll just,
Oh,
do it again until you see it. Keep doing it.
oh, I see. Do you guys see?
Oh, wait, there we go.
Okay. All right, so here's the application with those major-related 1 and 2. If you turn the page in your guide, you can find the major that you'll be applying to and what classes relate to major-related 1, 2, and 3. And Kate went through your articulation and the supplemental guides, right? And plug this in. Supplemental criteria for major-related 1, 2, or used ours as the model.
That's
Yeah, used ours as the model, yeah.
This is all done by a human, so, that might work.
So yeah, it's not a bad idea when you get to the major-related 1 and 2 on the application to bring up the supplemental criteria. This one right here. And double check what it says here. You're gonna plug in here. Does that make sense? And so for mechanical, under your major-related 1, you're gonna plug in your engineering statistics and your material engineering, which is that engineering 35 and 45. And is your 45 a 4-uniter? Is it a 3-unit or 4? It's 4 units. Okay, great, perfect. So you'll plug it in your statics 3? Okay, so you'll plug in a 3-unit class for whatever grade you got into it, or maybe in progress or plan, and then a 4-unit class for in progress or plan, or whatever grade you got in it.
You still don't want to double plug in anything, so if you use like, if a biology class.
Fits in there.
Fits into a major related, you don't use it on your science.
Thank you, yes. So you would not list it under biological sciences or life science, you would list it down here. Yep. And that's where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck.
So, just a question, I had a student who's interested in architecture and we offer none of the major prep here. The closest, there's a few at West Valley, we've got some at City College of San Francisco. My idea was to send it to Weston because I wanted to get a boost in application points, but now it sounds like he can't. He has to have that done something, right? He cannot apply, even though he can't say it, Bria, that's not offered my major prep.
Correct,
Okay.
you are right. So, if you were, let's just go back to here, and let's go to, you said architecture?
Uh-huh.
So if you scroll down, yeah, so those required classes, without them, they won't generate enough points to even be looked at. See, for the computer to pick them up. So we have a strong architecture program, Quest has a strong architecture program. I mean, I would just look through Assist and see who, yeah, right.
Actually,